All right, we're back with another album reaction and review. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. I hope y'all are having a great day. And we're going to continue with friend recommendations. This album was recommended to us by our friend Sadie. Thank you so much, Sadie, for this recommendation. So, this album is called Soft Sounds from Another Planet. It is by a band named Japanese Breakfast. Now, I have not listened to Japanese Breakfast, but I did see that they were part of the ACL lineup this year. And that really sucks because I really wanted to go to ACL this year. My schedule just didn't allow for it. But I did see that they were on the lineup. And that was actually one of the bands that I wanted to check out at ACL. They are led by singer-songwriter Michelle Zauner. And their music style is considered experimental pop, indie pop, dream pop, and lo-fi. So definitely a different style and territory than what we've been listening to for the past couple of albums. But I'm really excited because we get to explore some new territories, and it seems like a really nice palate cleanser from what we had been listening to. So, not to waste any more time, we're going to get right into it. Soft Sounds from Another Planet. The album came out in 2017. It is made up of 12 songs, and it is 37 minutes long. We're going to start with the first song, which is Diving Woman. All right, let's see what we got. I like this. Kind of reminds me of like some old 90s getting like Cranberries vibes from this. Man, I could just get lost in this. I like how that fell through. Feels like you're just riding the wave of that guitar. Nice effect. Hell yeah. I like that. I like that delivery. Yes, please. This song has a lot of weight to it, but it's very simple too. It's very easy listening, and I love that. This is just the instrumental part. I think we're just gonna ride this out till the end. I'm totally fine with that. A little variation, a little bit of soloing. That bass work is really good. The drums are just riding that pocket. This feels like I'm riding out on the highway. Definitely one of those travel songs. Yeah, I like how the guitars just carried that on a little bit further. It was a 6.5 minute song, and that flew by. I think the words ended around the 3.5 or 4 minute mark, and I was like, let's keep it going. That was so good. The way her voice just floats across the song is so mesmerizing. Like, I'm in love with her voice just off of that one song. Could have gone many different ways, and it could have been very, very dragged out. But because of her approach with the vocals and her line delivery, it gave me a lot of just not just her voice, but the entire ensemble of the music really gave me 90s vibes. You could have told me this song was a hit in the 90s, and I would have believed you. I was getting, I had mentioned the Cranberries. I felt like it had that same lightness as like Sheryl Crow. The song ultimately developed from her vocals. So, and then once the vocals finally finished, I was just on board for that ride. That song could have gone on for like another 2 minutes, and I would have just been happy with it. So, Diving Woman, that was a good one. The next song on the list is track number 2, Roadhead. The guitarist's approach on that riff is really good. The little synth work is good. She's got the delivery down. Wonder what the song is about. So the guitar part in that one as well has a very, the guitarist is writing a rhythm all the way through the entire song. There's really not a lot of variation on the guitar part for that one, but they're very intellectual musicians from what I'm hearing. Once they find that pattern that grabs their listeners, they're just going to roll with it. And honestly, I don't have any issues with it. It works. It really does. Her vocal work in this one is excellent. Those last couple of lines, it showed a little bit more of her range and her soul. That was really nice. And just the whole makeup of this song is excellent. Again, another one of those highway songs. I mean, they mentioned the highway a couple times. If anyone wants to leave me a comment of what this song is, I think I missed the point of this song. Someone tell me what that is. So the next song is track number 3, and that is Machinist. Track number 3, Machinist. Going with the spoken word. I like this 80s backbeat. Definitely more electronic than the last two, but I dig it. Has such a nostalgic feel to it. It's really cool how she's able to go from a natural sound from her voice to this more, I don't want to use the word auto-tune, but there is some effects on her voice that is really, really nice. She definitely has the voice for that type of effect. Feels like I'm at a rave. Okay. The sax solo. Probably like 3 or 4 albums in, and we've gotten a sax part in every single one. And I'm so happy this trend continues. Okay, so that is now my favorite song from this from this album. Just really upbeat. Definitely gave me like that mid 80s to 90s new wave vibes. I really like that a lot. Again, she has an amazing voice, but to add on those effects to her voice, it never felt jarring to me. It just felt really natural. I felt like her voice could have just done that on its own. But all right, that was a good one. So the next song is Planetary Ambience. Track number 4, Planetary Ambience. Sounds like there's a whole bunch of space whales. Space is so fucking cool. And I love how there are so many different interpretations of what space may sound like. Uh, there was a lot of warbly sounds in there. You can hear a couple of little pings and whistles that sounded like you were on a spaceship, and then you heard all these almost sounded like living creatures out in space. I always like to think of space whales. I think that's such a cool concept. Yeah, that was that was transporting for sure. I liked that one, and it was only a minute long. I felt like they could have turned that into a whole song, um, but it was like a tease. They really teased us with that one. Uh, Sometimes less is more, and I wanted so much more. So now it is track number 5, which looks like the album title, Soft Sounds from Another Planet. Sounds like a 2/4. Okay, we're in 3/4 now. This progression is very nostalgic. Sounds so epic. That was a good little fill. Getting a lot of Western vibes. It's bordering on country. All right, so she has such a range in her musical vocabulary because I was getting all sorts of country vibes from that, and the way that the music swelled during the chorus and then how it just dropped back into that verse. It was, man, it felt just as much soft as it was very heavy, especially the lyrics. Looking at the lyrics, uh, looks like she's dealing with some sort of trauma, and this song looks like a way of coping with that. Very emotional, and man, we were on the verge, but I can easily say that was probably the heaviest song off the album so far. Very good use of the time changes for sure. I always enjoy a good 3/4. The next song is track number 6, Boyish. Track number 6, Boyish. I want to talk over this, but such a good story being told. shit, man. That's coming from a real place. Such a beautiful song and such a heavy message, I swear. I'm so interested in artists' approach when it comes to songs like this. What their headspace is like, because this is such a heavy song. Not a single line on here outside of "I Can't Get You Off My Mind" was repeated. She's a storyteller in one of the heaviest of ways, and you can tell that there's a lot of resentment, there's a lot of love lost, and still love that she has for this person. She went through hell and back. There are no words that I can come up with to describe the emotions that go on during that song. The fact that she was just able to share that with us is an incredible showing of her vulnerability and both her self-awareness and confidence as a person. So I just want to thank Michelle for actually sharing that story with all of us, because I can imagine that was not an easy song to put together. Okay, so the next song is track number 7, 12 Steps. Track number 7, 12 Steps. The way her voice just drifts off. Okay, a little guitar showcase. Oh, this will be a fun one to see live. The drummer's got some tom work going on. That's cool. Doom, doom, doom. That is probably the catchiest chorus out of this entire album for sure. That really caught me. I wonder if that's a song that gets played on the radio, because that sounds like a radio hit for sure. I like that they are not leaving any stone unturned with their artistic expression. They have a lot of different styles that they're working with. This one was a little bit heavier. You had that country vibe earlier. That new wave synth 80s vibe, and for the majority, a lot of these songs have, again, that nostalgic 90s mix where the vocals just feel like they sit a little bit further back in the mix. I'm wondering if it's the way that this was recorded. Definitely have an overall picture of what this band is. I think the driving force across all of the songs, though, is Michelle's honor. Absolutely. She has an excellent voice, and of course, not to discredit the band is excellent as well, but her voice definitely carries the personality of the band. So the next song is track number 8, Jimmy Fallon Big. Track number 8, Jimmy Fallon Big. So I'm guessing it may be like they played on Jimmy Fallon or something, and like, how big? Jimmy Fallon Big. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm getting on that. Anyways, track number 8, Jimmy Fallon Big. The bass is giving me vibes of a heartbeat. So it definitely feels like a pulse. The pacing in her voice, like the placement of every syllable in each line, is on another level. That harmony is really nice. Very stripped down compared to the rest of the album. Even when the songs are so simple, she has so much emotion that she's able to express herself with, that all these songs just sound so epic with the ensemble, the synths, the drums, and her voice. It just projects over and over again. I don't know how Jimmy Fallon works in the context of that song, but Japanese Breakfast is at least Jimmy Fallon big. So now we are on to track number 9, The Body is a Blade. I already like this. Yeah. There's something really nostalgic about this as well. Michelle's voice is a blade. The fact that she's able to deliver these emotions of just hitting you right where it hurts, but with the softest of voices, is such a skill. Those synths. I could get lost in these synths. Sounds like an ocean breeze. Now I'm starting to get a sense of the direction that the band is going at this current moment in time. The structure of these songs lyrically really reminds me of bands from the 60s and 70s, where a lot of their songs didn't have repeating verses or choruses. They were very much a story expressed in a song. You know, Queen, Blue Oyster Cult, Rush, those bands all were storytellers, and a lot of the times their lyrics are very, very intricate and complex. You'd have to be a super fan to really remember a lot of their lyrics. And in this sense, for Japanese Breakfast, you know, with Michelle, the way she's delivering some of these songs, I really see that similarity. And that's probably why a lot of their instrumentation across all these songs is not very complex. They keep it very simple so that she can be the expression across the album. But at the same time, the band is very intellectual with the musical choices that they make. The thing about Japanese Breakfast that I'm hearing is it is a symbiotic relationship between Michelle and the rest of the band. Because Michelle's voice definitely carries the band, but she relies on the band so that her voice can actually project even further and get her overall message across. The vibe, the style that she wants to approach each song with. I mean, Soft Sounds from Another Planet, or Boyish, those songs are very dependent on the instrumentation to really sell the message that is being told. Overall, so far, we're almost done with the album, and I gotta say, this is so unique compared to a lot of the music that I've listened to in the past. When I started this project, I really thought about listening to albums the way other people read books, right? I always wanted to start picking up reading, but unfortunately, I don't have the time or patience for reading. Um, but what I have noticed is listening to music, not only music but full length albums, really gives you a perspective on a person's emotions, a person's story that they want to tell. I really do see a lot of similarities between reading books and listening to albums. And I gotta say, across all of these albums that I've been listening to, uh, this album, Soft Sounds from Another Planet by Japanese Breakfast, has been the most thought provoking for sure. Uh, mainly, mainly because of the history, right? Without knowing anything about Michelle, my mind is going in so many different directions of what the actual backstory to these songs is. With all of the emotion that is being projected across these songs, you gotta imagine that she's gone through a really tough time, and even even with the musicians, there's such emotion across all of the instruments that it's next level. It really is. Really, really great suggestion. I really appreciate you suggesting this, Sadie. You knocked it out of the park. The next song is track number 10, Till Death. Track number 10, Till Death. I was gonna say it was very light-hearted the way it started. And there's the trumpet. I love it. Her choices of words that she uses across these songs, she's painting the fuck out of the canvas that is this album. I mean, it is so visually expressive just from her choice of words. The pairing of her voice with the trumpet, that did something to me. I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm gonna sound like a broken fucking record, but I'm in love with her voice. I mean, there's so much longing and almost desperation in her voice. Just sounds like a cry for help across all of these songs, the way she's dealing with these emotions. And then those last couple of lines where she's talking about anxiety and PTSD. I mean, teach me to breathe, teach me to move. It's like she's in a state of paralysis. The way she's able to craft her stories and, like I said, just paint the canvas of these songs so eloquently. There is so much thought that is put into every word on this album. It is shocking how good she is as an artist to piece this together. I'm going to say it one more time just so we are clear. She has an amazing fucking voice. All right. The next song is track number 11, This House. Track number 11, This House. little bit of acoustic. I dig it. I'm curious how this is going to develop. So heavy-hearted, but with the lightest of approaches. Shit. Damn it. Holy shit. My God. Holy shit. Whoa. Michelle. Oh. Fuck. You know, the song musically it stayed in the same pocket and there was nothing wrong with that. Her voice was what had really developed that song, and it's all in the storytelling. It's, again, she has so many experiences under her belt and so much past traumas that she continues to carry, and her outlet with music and her form of expression is otherworldly. I'm going to say that because of the because of the album title, but fuck, like it can't be said enough. She is a master at the craft that is music. I mean, with the way she's able to create such a powerful story with her voice, with her experiences, with the actual musicianship in the intricacy of her voice, it's insane. Thank you so much for this suggestion, Sadie. It really means a lot. Like I said before, I believe that music is one of the best ways that people can connect with one another, and I really appreciate hearing some of my friends' favorite music to get to connect with them again. Excellent across the board. We have one more track, and it is only 40 seconds long. It is track number 12, Here Come the Tubular Bells. That's a really interesting song to have concluded the album with. While that song was playing, though, it started to make a little more sense of why that song may have been selected. When I was listening to the Tubular Bells, I started to think of a procession, whether it be like a wedding or a funeral at a church. And, you know, in the context of the rest of the album, it's really all of the different stages of life and what it has to offer. In the context of the album, a lot of it really had some heavy and dark messages about the beauties and the ugliness of love and what it has to offer. You know, with, let's just say, weddings, right? Wedding is a form of rebirth, and it is no longer one individual. It is now two individuals sharing a life together. And in this case, whenever a relationship had fallen through for Michelle, that was a form of rebirth, not for the pairing together, but as the pairing apart. And for her as a new person in that phase of her life. On the flip side, for funerals, right, that is the end of a life or death. And in the context of the album, kind of the same thing where when a relationship had ended, that was the end of the relationship, that was the death of the relationship, and she was dealing with the depression, the anxiety, the trauma of that. And so that's sort of where my mind went with that. I'm sure she has a completely different reason for adding that track into the album. But yeah, I mean overall the entire album was just a total shift from what we had currently been listening to, but it was so different than everything that I have listened to in the past. In her delivery, in the instrumentation, the way it swelled. It was a very emotional listen for sure. I can only imagine the type of experiences she had going through that. To feel it so heavily right off the bat, you can only imagine what it's like in her shoes. Yeah, just absolutely excellent. I definitely want to check out more of Japanese Breakfast for sure. Thanks again, Sadie, for that recommendation. Yeah, if y'all have any other recommendations of music that I could be listening to and, having this conversation with y'all, please leave me a comment, send me a DM, anything. I'd love to just keep expanding and talking with y'all about music. But otherwise, thanks for hanging out again, guys, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Thanks.